After an eventful evening of hunting the great hairy rhino of the loping plains, Shihane the Red Blade stumbles back home with his trophy and the hide. His hunting companion died of his wounds on the way back to the village, and thus alone he introduced himself to the chieftain, and as a reward for the trophy that she had been given, the great rhino's head. The Red Blade was given lodgings at a place known as the Gathering Place within the village of the Misty Wood. We open our eyes and the curtains of the stage just as the morning cockerel crows. As Shihane rouses himself from his hide mat, he's made a small nest for himself, as the room that he had been given is simply just a dirt floor that has a rock for a pillow, his only furnishing there. Across the way, his brother and cousin, Aelwyn, of the same clan. Gentlemen, would you describe your characters for us, please?
Well, Shihan, as he rouses himself and stretches, the sounds of joints pop, and he grimaces in pain. He's a very lithe and wiry figure, maybe 5 feet, 5'7" most. Long black hair and some obvious, very obvious bruising on his body, coming up in dark purples and blacks and such, overlaying a few others that he had gotten over the past few days of surviving in the wilderness. There had been turning greens and oddly yellows. His eyes, very piercing blue, look out from a face that looks weary. It's just rested, and just above those eyes are the healing scars of two horrible wounds. The blood finally starting to fall away from the scab around the base of horns that are barely perceptible underneath the trauma, as little jagged stumps, basically. Okay. He looks over at his cousin. Morning, cousin.
Aelwyn is waking up slow. He stayed up late the other night, just kind of trying to keep an eye of people coming and going and figuring out things throughout the village while his cousin was out completing his task. He throws back his long black hair, very similar appearance to his cousin. Long black hair, beautiful gold skin, blue eyes. Of course, no real scars except for the horns removed, which he has wrapped with a bandage now, kind of covering it, looking like a headband. He turns to his cousin. How are the achy joints, cousin?
Damned awful, of course. He shakes his head. Goes over to he pours a bit of water into a little bowl and splashes it in his face, and takes a sip, washes his mouth out, and spits it in the corner. Could definitely use more wine, but the stuff they have here is barely passable as such. But it's better than what you're drinking yesterday.
Oh yes, happy to have you back.
Yeah, Shihan stands up and goes through a few little bins and such, trying to sort of figure out exactly where the aches and pains are, and notices a bruise on his hip, and looks at his cousin and says, "You fancy a bath? We could go out and jump in that swamp."
From talking to the locals, that doesn't sound like the smartest idea, just to go jumping in the swamp.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. There's probably some damnable beast in here that'll try to kill me.
Yeah,
Well, let's see what we can find for breakfast then.
that I can do. I would probably I'll let you probably take a little bit longer and head to go find something to eat. Bring
Okay.
back maybe.
Yeah. So she'll handle.
As you emerge from your meager quarters, Aluin, you open up the door there, which is just a few boards primitively nailed together on a kind of a twine swing. The smell of whatever, I suppose, a cattle-like beast that they are butchering there, as well as possibly a boar that they've slaughtered earlier the morning, but and possibly some sort of soup, potatoes, that sort of thing, hits your nostrils. But it's a welcoming sight. Civilization kind of stirs a calmness in you.
I would definitely probably just bring him some soup at the moment. Would be the easiest thing to get to the room. Just be something quick to help him probably get moving. Probably if he gets down, we could probably eat some more, but I think the soup will be cool. So I would take that back to him. Probably with some water, help him feel better.
Excellent, as you were. Um, you certainly can get a communal meal here, bring a couple bowls back to the room, but the there's a bit of a commotion outside regarding you piece together a bit of a row. Someone is talking about the fairies arguing over some festival and tribute, and there won't be any eels for their fertility feast, something or other.
Oh, yeah, I mean, definitely, I would understand Faye. So, I guess before I get the food, I'd wander over to see what the commotion is.
Oh, this is actually outside the building.
Oh, outside the building. Okay, so
Yes. You guys are inside. You hear this row coming from outside.
then I guess I'll hey cousin, you want to go see what the noise is? I hear some Fey language out there.
Yeah, certainly, I heard something about eels. Got to have those for the fertility rights, right? And to make sure the fields and stuff work right. I don't know. I'm not a farmer.
Me neither, cousin. But let's go see if we could aid our brothers. See if we can help.
Aye. Thank you. Got a couple of soup on the way.
They don't have any
Pretty
way of silverware, so it's essentially just a bowl, and you're drinking from the bowl directly. As you emerge, there is one of the, I suppose, a lesser shaman, acolyte of some kind, is arguing with one of the more prominent advisors to the chiefess, and the advisor is simply saying that if the Fae of the swampland do not get the proper tribute that they deserve, as according to the pacts made with the stars as well as the blue lights in the evening in the swamp, then there will be no food for the festival, and the women, the cattle, and all of the plants will not be fertile for the next season. And of course, this acolyte is young and attempting to try and maybe he doesn't understand how the pact works or what have you, but he simply fires back. The fishermen that go deep into the swamp now are reporting that the blue lights are not to be seen in the evening. Now, a few dozen feet away, you two do not see, as he is standing behind you. We have a powerfully built and quite striking in figure, as well as sentiment. Would Skarnir Wolf Eye describe himself for us, and also describe the kill that you have made, that you have slung over your shoulder as you stride into the main thoroughfare of the village, please?
Skarnir stands about 6'5", 8 foot if you ask him on a good day. About as wide as a mammoth, but in reality, he is broad, but not that broad. Arms like tree trunks, most of the time. He keeps bands on them to make it look a bit more intense than he really is. His hair is long and shaggy and black, coming down past his chin and shoulders. His beard is unkempt and looks to have some food and drink stuck in it. His clothing is just layers of hides and leathers. His pants look to be made of deer skin. He's got some bands across his chest from banded leather. And then the only thing above his waist beyond the bands is an odd-looking cloak or a cape of skin draping down behind him. And on top of that, gripped with one hand, is a rather large-looking striped boar with big, mean tusks that he totally killed in one shot. Everyone, come take a look at my kill. I got it on my own, and yes. All in one breath. Boom.
I love this guy so much. So, with that entrance, obviously your I don't even have to say it. Your attention has been captured. Go for it.
I look over at this large human and this modestly sized boar and say, "Well done." Walk over and look up and see if they've mounted my woolly rhino's head yet.
They haven't mounted the thing, but they are definitely cleaning it with whatever primitive taxidermy that they have.
Okay. I'll walk over, stroke it a little bit, and say, "I took this one yesterday."
Skarnir looks it up and down. It's not bad, but I have heard about it as soon as I got back in. I take it you're somehow the one that got it?
Yes. I killed it and then fought off a tribe of trollmen who came to try to claim my kill.
Ah, trollmen.
Yes.
Got plenty of stories about them, but that can wait.
They're almost as big as you. Almost as pretty, too.
Almost.
Almost as pretty.
My name's Skarnir. What's yours?
Nice to meet you, Skarnir. I'm Sheehan. Sheehan the Red Blade.
Sheehan.
Mm-hmm.
That's odd name. Sounds a little girly if you ask me, but that's beside the point. Have you eaten yet? I want to hear the story of your hunt.
I could eat again. So Oh, by the way, I look over and look around, almost missing him. Say, this is my cousin, Elwin.
Hello.
I'll say hi in Fey language and just kind of like bow.
He doesn't speak many languages,
Right.
just our native tongue.
Does he have a female sounding name too?
Well, it's very male sounding to the forest devils. They hear it and fear.
Right. Anyway, food. I'm hungry.
Okay. Sheehan will smile a bit, even though he likes this human, which is to his mind a bad thing, because he basically he's like, yeah, this would be a nice pet. So yes, he'll entertain this fellow with his tales and whatnot, and allow him his boasts, and see where this leads. It could be entertaining.
So, as you guys attempt to retire, that row does in fact die down as Skarnir has kind of dispelled their argument. Do you guys retired to the gathering place? I'm assuming this is a local inn / tavern.
Yes.
You are given your space, as many of the villagers here do allow hunters and as well as the Fae. They allow them their space, as their superstitious culture kind of demands it of them. However, how long do you plan? Actually, well, do you plan? What stories do you tell, I should say? And who begins first?
Oh, Skarnir. Skarnir begins.
Fantastic.
For starters, that boar, it almost took me out in one shot. I swear it shrank by the time I got it back, but out there, ooh, it could take down a rhino on its own. Because it's got 2 tusks, whereas the rhino's just got the... But, yes, where was I? Food. Just soup dribbling down. So, Rhino. Looks like it got the better of you, or is that the trolls?
Oh no, this is more the trolls and such. But the rhino itself, myself and my companion, who unfortunately fell in the fray,
Shame that.
we were stalking a herd, and little do we know, there was a rogue male. Because as you know, it's rutting season, and the young males are always nosing about the edge of the herds, trying to catch a stray female to mate with. It apparently thought that my friend was a female rhino and charged.
Did he also have a female-sounding name?
No, he did not. But he was human. I'm not sure what his name was, to tell you the truth. I just thought of him as the human. The rhino charged, and he shrank back a bit in fear, though he did set his spear and gouged it upon the side. I feathered it once with an arrow in a very vital spot in the front, made it turn. It came charging back at us. I fired once more. I took it in the front leg, caused it to limp and go just to one side, barely missing me. Its breath and fur brushing my cheek as it rode by. My third shot, unfortunately, got fouled in his fur. But my human companion, he valiantly speared it once more. Couldn't quite stop it though. So as it came charging back toward me, I eyed the thing. I glared into its little beady eyes as it charged at me, and it lowered its horn to gore me, and I deftly stepped aside and spun, and at this I stand up and spin. Plucked my arrow from its fur, I grabbed one of my arrows and my bow and fired. And I fired the bow into the arrow into one of the supports on the side of the building, taking it in the weak spot in its nethers and causing it to drop, blood gushing from the back as my companion charged forward, plunging his spear deep into the body and breaking the haft. And that's when the trollmen arrived. The two of myself and him, shoulder to shoulder, back to back, fought off these horrid, stinking, vilely intelligent apes. Scaring them, of course, seeing us drop that beast and my, of course, glorious self standing there, drove fear into their hearts. Their shaman tried to cast a spell upon me, but he was unsuccessful, for he did not have the right, I guess, the right friends in the realm of the Fae. For we are much more highly prized by those in that great land than those things. And they refused his call. He quivered. His bowels released. I fired one arrow. It struck their largest warrior square in the chest, and he falls. The shaman begs for mercy, but my friend clubs him and kills him. And the last two trollmen speared him, unfortunately, and his entrails fell a gush upon the ground. And his last gasping words were, "Remember me." And I looked down and promptly forgot his name.
Yeah, one would think if you have to request to be remembered, you didn't do much worth remembering.
No, he was a very loyal companion.
Oh, I'm sure. Whatever his name was.
So Casimir, tell us the story about your travels.
Beautifully done, Keith, by the way. Beautifully.
Travels. Yes. On the topic of trollmen, I haven't told this story in a while. I was traveling through. It was some forest about a distance away. Through one of the clearings, there was a troll who charged me. And I guess I had gotten a little too close to whatever it was he was planning on doing with the next bit, because after I'd struck him down, I noticed on the other side of the clearing he had come from was, I guess, his wife. Have you ever seen a troll woman? Yes, they don't resemble the men at all. And with her, she had these two kids, two baby trolls. Long story short, I cannot drink wine because there's nothing better than fermented troll milk. Where was I? Right, travels. Yes, I'm a wandering hunter. I've been here and there, mostly there. But it's nice to be home. At least this is about as much as I can call home.
Well, I myself am a great hunter. I've hunted some of the most dangerous game you can hunt.
Mammoths?
Yes.
Saber-tooths.
Yes.
Saber-tooth mammoths.
Yes. I've also hunted, well, I've hunted some fairly large trolls, not the local, mid-level trolls, but the big mountain ones. I did a hunt one time with 12 of our greatest hunters of my people, great nobles, beings of great glory with with horns that flew back like pennants and glistened in the sunlight as the off of their points, and their armor and their weapons were the keenest in the land. And though 12 went in against this one mountain troll, only 3 of us came out, but we came out with that thing's head. Though I cannot say I have tried fermented troll's milk. Not sure I would want to, actually.
Comes right out of the teat fermented. Don't even have to wait.
Oh. I heard there's a cure for that.
That's awesome. Dude, here, you can have a narrator die for your next die roll. That's awesome. Oh, geez. Continue, please, Garnier.
But question for you, Shannon. In your travels, have you ever heard of anyone controlling a beast?
I've heard tale.
Now that is where true glory lies. Anybody can stab a rhino in the side or shoot it in the soft bits, but the real bit that will get your name remembered for ages is working with a beast.
Yes.
If some guy rode a saber-toothed tiger, you would never stop telling that story.
Probably not.
That is one of my things. That's what I want to do. In all my times, I am trying to figure out the secret of controlling the beasts. Came close once. That's where I got this scar.
Well, see, I can tell you one great secret. And Sheehan goes and grabs another bowl of soup and passes it over to him. He says, always treat them nice and feed them well. A hungry beast is not easy to control. And he sort of smiles and leans back.
I like the strategy of being more intimidating than they think they are. Like with that charging rhino, you stand your ground and you do this. At which point he grabs the edges of the cloak, fans it out, and you see 2 big eyes sort of stitched into it. You make yourself look big.
They hate that.
Shout them down.
Yes, they do hate that. And that's a canny trick there.
Yes. Learned it from one of the big folk. They're really good at making themselves be bigger than things.
That is true. Oh, the big folk, the trolls,
No. The giant ones. The big folk.
The giants.
Yeah, that's the name.
I assume they don't have to paint eyes on their cloaks. They just stand there menacing.
They just lift their shirts.
But I understand. She gets a little more water and drinks it, sits down and winces just a bit as his hip gives him a little bit of trouble. And says, so, what news do you have from around the area? Any news of any Fey brigands about? Any outlaws?
Do I know anything?
Not in the way of Fey brigands, however, but the hills are riddled in some places with no small amount of highwaymen and bandits.
Well, if you're looking to stab something that isn't overly covered in fur, there's plenty of bandits around.
Well, that's true. One thing I was thinking about was, and Sheehan reaches over into his little small bundle of equipment he has and pulls out a piece of hide on which there's a a crudely made image. The hide itself is actually cured, and it's a tablet. He says, "Have you seen anything like this?" My human companion was looking for it. Apparently, it had been stolen. Seemed very important to him.
And roll to see if I notice it.
Yes. Make a lore test for you. That's just straight cunning for you. What is his cunning, or what's his cunning score, I should say?
His cunning is 7.
Okay, so you got a +1 bonus to your lore.
Cool. That is a 4 and an 8.
The 8 explodes.
Another 4, so that's 16 from that.
In total is...
So then I add the +1, so 17.
Yes. So 17. Yes, so yes, you're actually quite familiar with such a thing. These tablets that he's showing you an image of. There's many of the human villages have them. They're more often than not the property of the chieftain, the chiefess, some local sorcerer, or the village shaman or healer. Those tablets, especially the one that you're actually looking at, is for agricultural magic. The rituals that preside over protecting one's crops as well as one's lands from famine or vermin or what have you.
How'd you get that? It's usually only chieftains and chiefesses have those.
Oh, well, apparently my companion's his father, I think, was a shaman or some holy person in his village, and it was stolen. And he was sent out to find it. And he had this representation of which I can't make out what this stuff means.
Oh yeah, well that's for agriculture.
Huh.
All right, let me know what you guys got for your awareness.
16 here.
Oh, 16.
Double 8.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice crit, man. Be sure to record your crit with the tally mark there, man. And Shalao?
11.
11. Okay, so the keen ears of the Fae actually hear this row coming before Garnier's primitive senses can take hold of them. So what you hear is the whistle. Actually, no. Let me take that back here. Aelowin, with an amazing roll as that, you hear the string of a bow being pulled and an arrow loosing. You hear the shoo of an arrow whizzing through the air, and it finds the throat of someone outside. You don't know. A few moments later, the sound of a body dropping into a muddy ditch. And now, Shihane, you will now hear the sound of a woman in the distance screaming. A few moments later, Skarnir will hear the sounds of the militia coming together as the sounds of battle are closing in on the village fence. What do you want to do?
I'll grab my bow, my arrows, and head to a higher vantage point.
All right, as you guys are leaving the gathering place, I need reaction tests from all three of you.
Okay.
Should probably use the right pen for this.
15 here.
Fantastic.
Oh, no, 16. 16. I know, not a big difference, though.
Oh, yeah. Big enough, man. 1 point can save you at the lower levels.
That's true.
All right. Skarnir got a 12 and oh, nice. Kia the 21. Fantastic. Shame. My pen that I'd been using for the past like 3 weeks just died on me as I was trying to put this together here. All right, here, hang on. Choose to cooperate here. All right. I need to get a couple pictures here ready for you. Sorry, guys, as you guys are leaving the hut here, Keith, since you rolled the highest reaction, let me know, tell me what you guys are doing right now, or what you're doing.
My first reaction is going to be go out and get to a higher vantage point, be it on top of the gathering place, or if there's a nearby wall, or maybe like a crude watchtower, going up for that, so I can get advantage of what's going on and possibly use my bow to get advantage. So,
all right, and Aloin is the next up here. What do we got?
I, of course, am just going to, from all my scouting from the previous day when my cousin was out hunting, I found good spots to, hide that are easy to move from. So I'd like to move into stealth and get a good vantage hiding point where I could see what's going on without being noticed. 20.
All right, give me a second. I had this set up earlier, and I have no idea where the hell these things got put. I am so sorry, guys.
Been there.
in the meantime, I'll begin singing a battle song as I'm doing that. So. Ooh. Ooh. I got a 31 to sing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. So
I exploded twice. So
Jesus,
a rousing
man.
battle song to start belting out.
Yeah, you got to tell us what the hell you're singing about if you're going to be that amazing about it.
Are you guys by chance familiar with the song? Oh, what is the name of that song?
Beer for my horses. No, sorry.
No, that's a different character.
Nice. Okay. I have my pictures ready for you. So, Shihane makes a he bum rushes one of the watchtowers on the fence. Mind you, I say watchtower, but it's a really crude wooden platform put together with lumber, rope, maybe just a handful of nails, and just has one wooden platform up there. There's one archer that is kind of firing into a mob of what looks to be a mixture of goblins as well as troll men that you had fought previously. And Aloin, you make your stealth roll, and there was a 20. Was it? What was not?
Yeah, 20.
Okay, fantastic. As the goblins are actually crossing kind of like that crude moat that they have around the village there, they are forcing back a group of the humans here. You see a goblin come across with a two-headed copper battle axe, and that battle axe just bites right into the shoulder and the collarbone of one of these poor local humans, Skarnir's kinsman here, and he is toppled and then trampled by the goblins and savages behind him. Skarnir is actually now within range to attack one of them or more of them. What do you wish to do here? Hey man, you're muted.
Oh, I am?
Yes.
Oh, no. Skarnir is muted.
Says Skarnir, lifting up the rest of his soup, chugging it down, tossing the bowl. Will ready his spear and charge, ready to run a goblin through.
All right. Or roll your attack. Your 2d8 plus weapon grades and your physique score, please.
Ooh, 8. 8, 16, 19.
I think I hear a couple explosions there. This is going to be good.
Yeah, that was a couple.
Well done.
And my physique is 12.
12 is a +4 bonus.
Plus 4, 33.
Oh, for Christ's sakes. Nice. You're gonna be rolling on fire, dude. Okay. He can't roll that. So I want you to describe for me how you're gonna butcher this guy here quick.
All right.
Go for it.
After chucking the soup bowl away, back of his hand, wiping excess soup out of his beard, grabbing the spear in both hands, running forward, shouting, just right to the middle of the chest, ready to hoist the goblin up and let it slide down the spear and then throw it onto another one.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done here. Now, as a group of trollmen attempt to accost our mortal companion here, I need Skarnir to make 2 defense tests for me, please.
They're both 8.
Wait, hang on. What?
They were both 8s.
Oh, for God's sake, man. All right. And the second defense test, please.
Okay. 16. That's 22. 23.
Oh, 23. All right. Okay. I see how you are. I need you to put a check mark next to where you put your cunning score for that crit. Well done, man. Well done. Would you describe for us how you deftly and expertly evade these savage cannibals trying to run you through with their copper short swords?
All right. As he's going to throw the already impaled goblin off of his spear, he uses his spear to knock aside one of the swords, stepping out of the way and sort of catching the leg of the other one with the base of his spear as he brings it around.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done. All right. Shihane is the next act, please. As you've set yourself up on that wooden platform, you have a target-rich environment, sir. Let loose.
Oh, yes. I'm going to fire down upon the biggest minions-looking troll man I can see, who will probably be their leader. Let's see if I can tell him.
Make an awareness test, please. He is
Okay.
in the thick of it. I want to see if you actually see him.
That is going to be a. Let's see. Yeah, 14.
A 14? Ooh, yes, you do see him, and let me describe him for you. Skarnir will actually know who this cannibal is. The mortal that I describe is known as Grog, the Trollmen chieftain of the Kingfisher tribe. Grog is he's about 6'2", and he's a rather rotund individual, as Grog never misses a meal, and he is always the first to eat on the hunts. He wields a bronze short sword, and that is hardly. It looks too small from like a child's toy in his kind of meat ham-fisted hand. Clearly, he is not worthy of such craftsmanship, as the sword he is wielding is of Atlantean make, and is badly damaged here. Grog wears a bronze mail coat, also of Atlantean make. Grog wants a fucking burger, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry.
Anyway, no, he's gonna have a burger made of mortal ground beef here soon. So, if you don't put a stop to his nonsense. Anyway,
I definitely will. I'm going to
Grog is wearing kind of this carved mask that has blue, green, and orange feathers kind of in its headdress, and he, as you spot him, is cutting down two of the militia here.
Okay.
You are safe to take aim here now, sir.
I will take aim and fire upon him with one of the stone arrow tips or tipped arrows that I have. So
roll it. Ooh, fantastic.
Let's see. That's my bow. Where am I at? 6. So it's going to be a 18.
18 to hit actually does not.
Wow.
Your arrow flies wide, and give me a second here. Keith, odd or even?
Even.
All right, your arrow lands in the eye of a goblin standing to his left, and he topples in a heap.
Okay.
Now, Aluin is the next to act. You do see this behemoth of a trollman chieftain, but you're not able to get to him. He is in the thick of this mob.
Would I be able to reach the ones around Scar without being noticed?
Not as such. He's kind of out in the main thoroughfare there. There's a handful of goblins. Oh, sorry. What's that?
No. Yeah. You can explain.
There's a handful of goblins trying to break away and try to pillage the rest of the village, however, but you would be leaving the main combat there.
Then I'm going to stay in my cover and use my sling to try and sling a couple rocks to maybe aid Scar, like to hit the ones near him.
Beautiful. Well done. Roll it.
No. 17.
17 does hit. I need you to roll damage here. You're firing at one of these cannibal troll men here, and give me a second while I screen share something with you quick. Here, as one of your troll men.
Have fun. 6 damage from a rock about to smack him in the head.
All right. Describe for me how you brutally murder him, please.
Okay, so I'm kind of in the shadows of this hut kind of thing where I have a good angle where no one could really see me, and I just find a nice little sized rock, put it in my sling, chuck it, and just catch him right in the temple while he's kind of turned sideways, fighting Scar. So just catch him right there, nice, and he drops.
As that sharp stone enters his temple and spatters a little bit of blood on Skarnir's pretty cape, you do in fact see this, Skarnir. As now, give me a second here. Stop screen sharing. There we go. The goblins and the trollmen are the next to act. Scar being the closest and most intimidating threat here. There's 2. One attack does not go through. I need you to roll 1 defense test, please.
That is going to be 13.
Ooh, okay. So one of these goblins gets a copper sword past your defense and deals 3 damage to you. Also inflicting a light bleeding wound to you.
Side note,
Yes.
that I'd forgotten to write down health. How do we calculate health again for level 0?
Vitality is your physique score plus 6 as a base. Do you have grades in conditioning at all, good sir?
I have 2.
You have 2, then you have an additional +1 bonus to your vitality.
So that's 7. 6 as a base plus the 1.
Plus your physique score.
Oh, plus the entire score. Wow. Okay.
Yes. Should add 18, 19, 19, 20.
Physique of 12 plus 6 plus 1. So 21.
There you go. So yes, he's done 3 vitality damage to you so far. And there are a handful of these goblin archers that are attempting to return fire at Shihane. I need 3 individual defense tests as a volley enters your tower.
All right. Let's see. First one's going to be 14.
Ooh, okay.
18 for the second one. 19 for the third one.
Ooh, okay. You take 7 points of vitality damage as 2 arrows slice open your flesh.
Yes. Okay. All right. I'm going to take cover next.
As well you should. Now, Shihane, as you are about to take cover here, I'm going to say one of the arrows is in your left hip and one of the arrows is in the meat of your right shoulder, we'll say.
Okay. Okay.
I need you first off to, actually no, you and Skarnir need to make awareness tests, please.
Okay.
Ooh.
Just awareness. It's going to be a 16 for me.
All right. Skarnir got 6 total.
Yep.
He's not paying attention to what's going on. That's totally fine.
There's a bug on his face.
There's a little bit of blood on his face too.
There you go.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you two will see a rider, as well as these troll men, clad in what looks to be a black armor. It's almost darker even still, even out in the beating down sun. Once you lay eyes upon this being, I need you both to make spirit tests.
Okay.
2d8 plus your spirit modifier here. No other modifiers apply.
15 here.
Okay. What do you got first, Garnier?
I got 9.
Oh goodness, is it not going to look good for him? So as Skarnir looks upon this being astride a great black beast, we would consider to be a horse now. He wields a long hafted axe with a blackened head here. He rides by one of the defenders of the village, and with this horrible night bladed axe, he beheads one of these poor militia, and he actually tramples some of the goblins ahead of him as this horrible evil spirit haunting rides into your midst. You are now affected by the fear that radiates from such a thing, and Shihane is also rocked to his core. You almost feel like some icy claws entered your heart as soon as you looked upon him. He is, as you see him in the picture, but his crown that he wears above a dark gray hood, each of those blades that sticks out from his crown is almost like a dagger blade. One is of ebon, one is of bronze, one is of fey ore. A handful of them are of copper and bronze, and one right in the middle is gold. You don't know if this being is of fey origin, but he is clearly an anathema to behold. Now, he surveys from the saddle the carnage being wrought by his henchmen, his hirelings, if you will. And he rides off into a portion of the village. Aelwyn will actually see him break away from the carnage, and you actually will see him attempt to rob a shaman, actually trying to spirit away some materials as well. And he drops this axe into her skull, and one of the tablets that she is holding is smashed in the process and falls on the ground. He hauls himself from the saddle and stoops to pick it up. What does Aelwyn do?
Since I'm still in the shadows, I'll probably just load up another rock and see if I could knock that crown off his head, maybe.
All right, well done. Let loose, good sir.
I find like the best rock I could find near me for this one.
Okay. Let's say you got a big honking one.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. 21.
Ooh. It does not connect. It actually whizzes by him. He retrieves this tablet, and then he turns and looks upon you. I need you to make a spirit test as well. He kind of turns those sunken eyes on you.
15.
Ooh. Well, this round you're able to steal yourself. He drops the half of this clay tablet into a satchel of his, and he brings that axe to bear, and he strides menacingly towards you as the goblin horde is getting closer and closer to your cousin and your new companion, Skarnir. Shihane is at the top of the round again. Let's do it. Let's hear it, Shihane.
Well, first thing he's going to do is he's going to remove these arrows, or at least break them off, and because that's going to definitely hamper his movement. And seeing that he's
to break them off is a physique test.
Okay, we'll make a test real quick. It's a 9. Yeah, I can get one. Like that's the highest I rolled was a 9. So probably can't break them off. I'm thinking, and I look at the the crowd around coming towards me. I'm sure, but that fellow riding through, a lot of the tribal militia is probably cowering from this guy, right?
Oh yes, they're shrinking away from him, and the goblins are having their way with them.
Okay. Although I feel like I want to be the hero, at the same time, I'm not that dumb. So he is going to attempt to slink away. So to basically go find his cousin. So he's going to go and be stealthy about it.
Okay.
So,
make your stealth roll here.
Okay. Stealth is going to be a 16.
All right, beautifully done. If you're gonna slink away here, as the battle down in the courtyard below you is now in full swing, as soon as the Black Chieftain rode off, the militia kind of formed up around Skarnir in sort of a shield wall. And Skarnir, I need you to roll 1d8 and describe for me how many of these savages, these brigands, that you slay this round as your kinsmen are trying to beat them back.
Run that by me one more time.
Roll me 1d8 and describe for me how many of the assailants you slay this round.
All right. So as the kinsmen are forming up, Skarnir runs his spear through another goblin, gets lodged a little bit. He takes the copper hand axe he's got at his waist, slams it down into the skull of one goblin, and then right across the neck of another, taking out 3 enemies.
Well done. The line, the shield wall behind you is forming up into a sort of a porcupine kind of array as they're trying to force these goblins back. Now, Aloin, from your not really hidden vantage place anymore, the Black Chieftain is almost upon you. What do you do?
So, would he be? He's walking, yes.
Oh yeah, he's walking. He doesn't have to run after you.
Okay, I guess. I know I'm not really a. I'll give this a shot for once. Is he
Ooh.
close enough for like me to attack? Would I even have the balls to?
Yeah, you can run up and attack him. You can close the distance, of course.
I don't know. I feel like I'd more like try to find another stealth spot if I could.
Well, he's watching you while you do that, so you're it's not going to do you any good.
Then I'll attack.
All right, make an attack roll, man.
So 16 on my first attack.
Ooh.
And I'm not even going to say the second one.
Is it under 4?
Is 7.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so the first attack, it actually does connect, so roll damage, please.
Oh, shit.
I'm assuming you're trying to attack him with one of your daggers.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well done, man. Go for it.
7 damage.
Ooh, well done. Describe for me how you stick him with your dagger, please.
So, I'm like, I just threw this rock and it completely missed. And this, like, in my old age, I haven't seen anything like this, and I've dealt with creepy people.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just slowly walking towards me with this just, the eyes of, someone you could tell is just intent on killing. And Aluin just closes his eyes, grabs his daggers, and just kind of like charges and kind of stabs with one, and like kind of opens his eyes and notices that he got kind of like a pretty good hit on his target, and it's like, oh damn.
As you find a gap in his armor, you sink one of your daggers in there. You feel that he doesn't have any flesh in there. You just feel that you broke one of his rib bones. There may or may not be any one in there, but he will retaliate with that long axe. And I need defense test. Please tell me that you can defend yourself against a 19.
Let's see. So that's cunning, evasion, 5. Yeah, 20, because I rolled 15.
Oh, well done. All right, so he's going to try and give you kind of an uppercut swing with that long axe. Describe for us how you dodge out of the way. Shihane, you will actually get within line of sight as you see your cousin step out of the way of this blow that could have opened him up.
So like I'm used to hopping around to get to places, in my my burglary that I like to do, and being my natural reflexes from my family. After I stab and like I realize what had just happened, instantly before he even starts moving, I'm already kind of jumping out of the way so that when his sword comes down, there's already no target there before he even realizes it. Really.
All right. Well, as I come around the corner, stealthily limping, I see my cousin duck under this axe. I'll do what I normally try to do. I'll pull out my one arrow I have that has the bronze head, and I'll line up a shot. See if I can feather this fellow.
All right, go for it.
That was a lucky roll. $19. 25.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that hits. Go for it. Or send it.
All right. Damage is, let's see. Hunting bow still adds physique for damage, right? Or is it just straight 1d8?
Bow is physique, yes.
Okay. That's going to be 9 points of damage. Max damage.
Fantastic. Well done. All right. So now it is.
Oh, do I have the possibility? Do you have the possibility of ducking like into hiding as well? That or
Yes, his attention is in fact elsewhere.
okay. Not too great. 15 on that. Try to stay hidden.
All right, now, because I kind of skipped around here, Skarnir is the next act here.
All right. So how do things look around him?
It is you currently. You have seen, excuse me, you have witnessed the village champion actually be slain by the chieftain of the Trollmen, Grog. Grog has actually thrown the the village champion's head at your feet, offering a challenge in whatever trollish language that he speaks.
All right. With the head thrown down, Skarnir will shout at the man at his back. Don't be scared, boys. That just means there's an opening for a new champion.
Oh, well done. All right, they got to make a morale test here. Ooh, hang on. Okay, your boast there gave them a +1, so they actually did not flee this round here. So make your move, my good friend.
Okay, so it was a challenge from the chieftain, huh?
Yes, the enemy chieftain.
All right. In response to that, Skarnir will, exaggeratedly, dislodge his spear from one of the goblins and ready it, and then charge the chieftain.
Get him. Make an attack roll. Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeet, that's an 8.
Yeet.
It's going to be 20.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. He rolled a 5, so send the damage, man.
Okay, and damage is
1d8 plus your physique.
1d8 plus physique. Roughly. You're treating me good. You were treating me good.
Oh, you said something, and now it doesn't want to do it anymore.
I know. That said, it's plus my physique, so that's going to be 15.
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus.
Big arm.
Oh, God damn it. Oh, okay.
Hefty. Scrawny.
Jesus, you actually slay him in one blow. Actually, I damn it.
And people thought my boasts were stories.
He certainly can walk the walk. Grog has 14 vitality. You hit him with 15. Oh, Jesus, well done. All right, let's hear how bloody and Conan the Barbarian we can make this. Let's hear it, Steve.
Is it the full physique or just the mod?
For what?
For damage.
For damage is the modifier.
Okay, in that case, it wasn't a 15.
Oh, okay. So
when you
what
said
did you roll?
at physique, I was like, okay.
No, it's 1d8 plus your physique modifier. Excuse me.
Thank you, other Stephen. That would have been a 4.
Oh. Wait, hang on a second. What did you roll on the die?
I rolled a 3 on the die.
Plus 4. So it'd be 7.
Oh, right. Physique of 12. So 7.
Oh no, yeah, and either way, man, he's in the quick, so he's heavily wounded. Either way, describe that because you've just leveled his vitality. Either way.
All right. With another mighty shout, Skarnir rushes forward, does a leap, and tries to smash the spear down into his chest, catching him just off to the side, going through his nice, thick,
His gouye.
yeah, the goo bits of the belly.
Grog is going to howl in pain at that and stumble back with your spear still in him, so he's dragging you with.
Skarnir will howl in response.
All right, so the others, the rest of the infantry there is actually going to charge forward and attack the shield wall. And now we are back to the top of the round here. Now it is Shehane's turn.
All right, Sheehan is gonna sit from the shadows back there, peek out to see what this fellow's doing, and he's gonna ready a shot with his bow, just to see. He's not gonna try to reveal himself right this moment. He's gonna see what his cousin does, and if his cousin gets in trouble, he'll launch another arrow at the guy. So basically, he's holding his action if I can.
Okay. Then Aluin is next then.
Dodging that axe, and did it feel like my attack did anything to him? Like, I know I felt nothing. Like, did he react in any way?
Didn't even slow down or flinch.
Oh, damn.
How about when the arrow hit him?
What's that, Keith?
How about when the arrow hit him?
Well, you didn't shoot at him, so.
Oh, I thought that's who I was shooting at. Sorry.
What are you gonna do this round, man?
I guess, is there any way that I can, like, try to get away from it? Maybe, like, run into the fray of battle or something?
Yeah, you can make a kind of a fleet of foot dodge action there. Make me a reaction test, please.
– 27.
Ooh, yeah. So, what he's gonna do, the Black Chieftain here, is he's gonna try and haul off and bury that axe in you, but you duck and dive out of the way, and you know what? That's actually good enough roll. Hey, you know what? You disappear into a hut nearby.
Yeah.
You're totally safe for now. All right, now Shehane has to go.
Seeing that he got away from that fellow over there, I'm gonna turn and so I can fire an arrow back toward the main combat. I can still see the chieftain out there stumbling backwards.
Yeah, and Skarnir is attached to him via spear.
I will try to send an arrow past Skarnir into this fellow, just see what happens. So.
Okay. Yeah. Skarnir needs to make a defense test as well. You're firing through him or near him. Be careful. Roll well. You might get shot in the back.
20.
20? Oh. Oh. Okay. Okay, so Keith, roll damage on Skarnir, please.
Oh.
Yeah, you just shot him in like the back of the leg.
That's a 3. So.
Oh shit. Okay.
Well, at least I thought with a 20 I'd get past him.
No. No. The chieftain rolled higher, and he rolled the lowest.
Okay.
So there's Shihane now. So Skarnir is back up now. The infantry is preoccupied with the shield wall. You got hit for 3 vitality damage.
Got it.
Skarnir.
Stream. Skarnir, he was howling in response to Grog's howling, but now he is howling as the gets lodged in the back of the leg. Just he will plant the leg that doesn't have an arrow in it to try and pull his spear out so he can go back in for another thrust.
All right, make an attack roll with a -1 penalty here.
$18.
Ooh, well done. All right, Grog is not able to defend himself properly with the spear being tore out of his gouye. Now, roll damage once more here.
That is going to be 8 damage.
Ooh, all right. Describe for us how you slay him.
All right. Planting his good leg, he stops and gains control of himself again. Between his sudden stop and Grog's continued movement back, he pulls the spear out and with a quick thrust just goes right back in and up through the rib cage.
Beautiful and grim. All right. So that it takes off that part of the reaction. All right. The goblins are going to push past the shield wall and attempt to attack Shihane from his vantage point with a 9. They're coming at you with copper and bronze axes and swords. You're muted, Keith.
11. That's what I had.
All right, so nothing gets through this round. Now, Aloin is next to act.
Okay, so I'm inside the hut. Is there a possible way to go out like the back and then try to come around to see the battlefield?
There's actually one door on this hut, unless you want to cut a hole in one of the hides with one of your daggers.
That I will try.
All right, it takes you a few moments to get through it, but you can stumble through the back half of this tent here as the troll men find that their chieftain has been slain, and the troll men, being cowardly in nature, they break off and they retreat. However, the goblins are more stout of stuff, and they continue to attempt to butcher the rest of the humans. You do, however, before you are able to act, see the black chieftain remount his horse and before ransacking the rest of the village's fallen shaman, and then ride out of the camp. What do you wish to do this turn?
I'm going to pick up a rock with my sling from my my hidden spot and try to take out a goblin that's within range. Probably the closest one to me.
Okay, yeah, you have perfect line of sight. Make an attack roll.
12.
Right, roll damage here.
Oh, sweet. 8.
Oh, fantastic. You slay that particular goblin as you brain him from a distance with a rock. And now Skarnir is in another target-rich environment with these goblins still having their way with your kin.
So the goblins are rushing the shield or the spear line, right?
They have actually broken through it, and the line is being very poorly held.
Ah! Damn it! I'm not a commander. Get your shit in line. Skarnir will rush back towards the line and try to stab some goblins.
All right, there are 3 in your midst here. Give me attack.
I will stab the biggest one.
Fantastic. Roll that. Not roll damage. Make an attack roll.
Uh, 16.
Beautiful. Roll damage here.
That is going to be 6 damage.
Oh, fantastic. That's not enough to drop him, but he's looking real worse for wear.
And with that, Skarnir will shout to the nearest kinsman and say, "Well, come on, finish him off."
Shihane is the next to act.
All right, as these goblins have come close to me, I'm going to sort of stumble back, putting my hand on the ground, grabbing a handful of dirt and throwing it in the goblin's face.
Beautiful.
So in an effort to basically blind him so I can get away from him. I'm not really close to the guy. Okay. Shall I roll?
Go for it. Make an attack roll.
Okay. God dang it. You want to see the
what
double
happened?
8s I just roll? I'm throwing pocket sand.
Oh my god. You're gonna waste a crit on some pocket sand.
A double freaking crit on pocket sand.
Oh, oh well.
Well, it's still a crit. So.
Well,
physique, right?
you totally don't get away from him, you know. That totally sucks for you. Yeah, no, you blinded the absolute shit out of him.
Okay, and then I'm going to take myself into one of the huts to get away from this combat.
Okay, Aluin is the next to act. Gonna rock that sling somewhere.
Yeah, can I see like the ones that are close to my cousin or harassing him?
No, actually, there's a cluster of huts between you and him at this point.
Okay, then I'm just gonna keep picking up as many goblins as I can.
All right, make an attack roll.
Jeez. That's 30.
Oh, Jesus. You guys are rolling like crazy today. All right, so roll damage.
Dude, yeah, I have never had that many 8s ever playing. 5 damage.
All right, you wallop him in the back of the head, but he is not indeed slain. Skarnir, that goblin is still attempting to accost you.
Well, we'll have
And-
to fix that.
All right, he's going to come at you with a battle axe for, god damn it, a big ol' 8. Jesus Christ. I'm rolling like garbage. You guys are rolling fantastic tonight.
Yeah, no.
All right. You're going to be able to finish him off. He's got a static defense, man.
Yeah, one of them also exploded, so.
Oh, you suck. God damn it, dude. Okay. You run him through. All right. So, as the battle starts to wind down, as the goblins are a little too stubborn to give up the fight, the rest of the humans in the militia, they finish off the last half dozen goblins, and the three of you are left more or less a little bloodied, and perhaps your bloodlust has been slaked, at least for now. The three of you regroup at the corpse of the Grog chieftain. What did the three of you do here?
I walk over and say, "Can someone help me with these arrows?"
Well, I got one for you. It's right here.
Oh, thank you. I lost that.
Found it for you.
Yeah. I was trying to hit the other fellow, but
Keeping.
I motioned at the arrow in my leg still, and the one that's hanging out of my shoulder, and like it was difficult to get around these shooting.
I would turn to my cousin and kind of like check him on the shoulder, make sure that he's not even worse for wears than when I last left him.
Oh, he's worse for wear. He doesn't look very good. He's a little bit pale. So.
Then I'd probably like get underneath him and help carry him and kind of motion to our new friend to follow us to get him some aid real quick. Probably take him back to our room.
Yeah, he's getting a bit groggy because those arrows should be causing him to bleed too. So he's down pretty low.
Yes. I'll be right with you. Garnier takes his axe, starts cutting off Grog's head.
Attaboy.
He threw our champion's head. I'll throw his somewhere. Might be a good kickball.
If they have lime around here, you can soak it in that and use it as a weapon.
Yeah, after that, Skarnir will follow after, check and make sure Sheehan is all right. He himself injured only from the arrow in his leg and a small cut on his chest.
Yeah, she hands down more than half of his hit points currently. So,
Oh,
yeah,
That's cute.
yeah.
I'd probably make a joke while carrying him, like, cousin, you need to do better at staying in the shadows like me. You'll live much longer.
Yes, definitely. At least I didn't attack a thing with
Just
an
pick it up
axe.
where you cast your own and hide in that.
Sheehan's he's probably limping, but being supported by his cousin. He'll look at him and say, "Yes, Evan, what was that? What was that guy doing? He seemed to come in."
I'd be like, I saw him taking the tablets off the shamans.
Huh. Like that one friend of ours was looking for.
I would think so.
I wonder if that's the same person. Seemed pretty tough.
He didn't look that tough.
I would explain, to Sheehan that when I attacked him, There was no flesh or blood that my dagger caught.
No flesh or blood.
Like-
Now I'll translate that for our friends too, because I'm sure you're probably saying Feywise.
Yeah.
So yeah, he says that being didn't have any flesh. He stabbed him square in the side in the chest, and no bleeding, no flesh, just bone underneath.
Now, not to call you out at all, but are you sure you actually stabbed him?
I'll translate that. He wants to know if you actually stabbed him or not, or may might have missed.
I'd turn to my cousin. I'd be like, I know when my dagger meets its target, and kind of just like let out a little laugh.
He looks back. He sort of grins a little bit. He says he's more accurate with his dagger than I am with my arrows.
If he says so.
He is. I've seen him score very, very vicious hits on people when he had to.
As you hole up back in your room at the gathering place, lick your wounds, tend them. Does anyone have any grades in apothecary?
I have wilderness lore. That's as close as I get.
Yeah, no, you're not going to be able to clean those. You guys are indeed still bleeding, those of you who are.
Oh, yes.
Would I be able to at least stop the bleeding?
Nope, you need apothecary.
Wonderful. I'll send my cousin, who apparently is uninjured, out to find one for me.
Yeah, I was just about to say, can I go find somebody to bring up? Like, I'm healthier than a whistle.
Yeah, Skarnir's picking at his. Just there.
Oh, right. Yeah, see, I don't need to see a doctor. Come on now.
It'll stop on its own.
Yes, when you've bled to death, it'll stop. You find Aluin finds the village Babuska.
Babuska.
Yes, some miserably wretched old Nemercian woman. And you know her as Nashamara. She's the oldest person within 100 miles, she boasts.
Mm-hmm.
And she has seen more seasons than many fae. She says that she is so elderly. She looks you up and down. She says, "You are not injured in any way, fair folk. What need you of me?"
My cousin is losing blood, and I worry that it'll worsen, and we're not skilled in patching up.
Bring me to him. Bring me to him.
I would take her along, trying to probably speed her up as she waddles.
Okay, yeah, she's kind of a rotund older gal, but you get a feeling that you don't mess with grandma. No, she'll kill you. Aelin brings the village Babushka back to your room, and she looks over your wound. She goes, "You are quite worse for wear." She kind of bends over Shehane and she sticks her finger in one of your arrow wounds.
Oh. Well, I actually rolled pretty high on the spirit check. So that's going to be a 18 to not scream out in pain as she does that.
The most you probably get out is it.
Yeah.
And she kind of gives you this, "I'll walk it off, you pussy" kind of look. she brings out a mortar and pestle, and she goes, "Fair folk are not supposed to be so frail." She kind of looks down that witchy curved nose of hers at you.
Lucky goblins. They caught me unawares.
I'm sure
Well,
they did.
you will need to be more aware then.
Yes, Babushka, yes. I'll show her the proper respect that one shows Babushka. Because I've heard stories.
Oh, yeah. Steve, the term babushka obviously is grandma in Russian, but is the one term that transcends all languages in my homebrew. And every village has a babushka because everyone has a grandma. She kind of shoots this cross-eyed, maybe some mild dementia look over at Skarnir. She goes, "Do you need tending to as well?"
Well, I suppose since you're here, I won't say no to you making up a little bit of that for me.
And she kind of she didn't say anything, but kind of under her breath, she kind of like mimics what she's saying. This mocking ass tone. Some grumpy old grandma that she probably is. She takes a white candle out. By white, it's not really more a cream colored candle. She lights the thing. She takes out a wooden bowl, spits in it, and then she grinds up what looks like really like kind of wheat or lemongrass. Takes out a clay vial of what probably looks like swamp weed or some offal, and then puts it all together. And then she stuffs it into Shihan's holes in him.
Come on.
Spirit check. Not as good that time. I groaned a bit more than I did last time.
I mean, quick as lightning, this old bag. She throttles you around the throat. She goes, "Perhaps I should turn you into a turnip and have you for my evening tea."
Well, he gets a bit of a steel in his eye from that, but
Shit.
he stops, shuts his mouth, and he says in a very calm voice, "I wasted another freaking crit on something like this."
Yes.
He says,
"Sorry, Keith. Sorry."
He says in a very cultured, as best as he can, "I apologize, Babushka. I did not mean to interrupt your work." And he holds himself perfectly still.
She narrows her right eye and she looks at you with it. You know, like the way a bird looks at you with that one eye.
Oh, yes.
It's fucking unsettling. And she goes, "Perhaps then I should geld you instead and use your prick to find the fairy court in the swamp."
You would find that to be very unfortunate in an attempt.
"Do you threaten me, Faye?"
No, I don't threaten Babushka. I would never do that to Babushka. I would, of course, I am just giving you a fair warning that those parts of me are not for the likes of anyone.
"Not if I turn you into a turnip. You'll be a prickless turnip." And at that, she gives you this unsettling fucking smile, and she finishes up bandaging you. And a few moments later, the pain, amazingly, is gone.
As she does that, as the pain basically starts to go away, I'll sigh of relief and look at her and say, "Well, you know that I've had more than a few young ladies ask for that certain appendage. Many older than you, I'm sure.
But as a prickless turnip, you'll be useless. Useless, I tell you. That way you will be useless to women, useless to your companions, and useless to any other turnips.
And what
She turns her insanity upon Skarnir and goes to work on his wounds.
Okay. She hands sort of leans back as this stuff sort of takes effect and takes the pain away. And he sort of smiles a little bit at Skarnir and like, it's your turn now.
You whatever was in your bandages, it quickly you succumb to it and you pass right the hell out. And now, oh, I see. The babushka repeats said process, but she may or may not accost Skarnir less with her old lady berating.
Skarnir lays on the charm.
Yes, we got to hear this. What is the charm? The Tormund giant Bane smile. She gives you back the that fangled toothless grin that some old crotchety witch can only give. But she finishes up on your wounds and then stuffing this spit, swamp weed, and lemongrass mixture into the gaping wound in your chest. And minutes later, again, you also succumb to whatever is in that concoction. In your laps, you have a large candle with a red wick slowly burning. This candle is you probably assume this candle will probably last about 6 to 8 hours. The Babushka turns to Eowyn and she goes, "When they awaken, you must come find me." She puts her like arthritic knuckle finger on your lips and she goes, "Don't say a word to them." And she leaves you.
I probably would just move to like a corner and sit quietly and watch.
And I think at that we will take our first 10-minute break of the evening, gentlemen.
All right. Seeing if you.
All right. See you in a bit here. All right, we're back. So, how the hell are we?
We are back. Yes.
Excellent. We got everything taken care of, or are we able to jump back into it here?
We should be able to.
Oh, perfect. All right.
Although I'll tell you this, I'm probably myself going to have to be off by 11. You guys can continue after that, but I'm going to be like 5 o'clock in the morning. So,
Oh, you're gonna turn into a pumpkin on us.
yes.
Anyway, that's fine. We can begin the wind down here in a bit, but let me turn my OBS back on. All right, we're back now. No, as no sooner does the babushka leave that those candles begin to flicker, almost kind of back and forth between a blue and a gold, kind of a witch fire light. It's almost a little, almost. It's enchanting in a way. It's mesmerizing. There's no small amount of magic in there. Does Aelwyn stay for the next several hours and wait for his companions to awaken, or does he go off and do his nightly routine? By the time that the battle had concluded and the village has died down, it's about around that evening. It's about supper time.
I'm going to say with him being unfamiliar with this form of like healing or magic, I'm going to stay close to my cousin and keep an eye on him, and of course our new companion.
Okay. Hours pass here then, and as soon as both of their eyes, Shehane first, and then Skarnir, as soon as their eyes flutter open, the candles go out. Both of you have recovered 4 points of vitality. There is no pain. You are no longer sore, and the bleeding has subsided. You both feel fantastic, although not at full fighting fitness.
I will go to my cousin and be like, "How are you feeling, cousin? You look much better. More color to your skin."
I feel wonderful. Look at the bandages are probably still tender a bit, but they feel
Very.
much better. Much better. Still tender, but much better.
I'll kind of lean over to the new companion and kind of like smack him on the shoulder, kind of like look him in the eye, kind of see if he's I can tell he's kind of a tough guy. See if he's doing okay himself.
Oh yeah, the Babushka special really puts it back into you.
How long have we been out, been asleep?
6 hours. It's close to dusk at this point.
Okay.
But I'll turn to my cousin and tell him that the Babushka told me as soon as you guys awaken that we should go see her. So I don't think time is of an issue on that matter. Let our companion know and see if he'd like to go with us.
Okay. Like over him says, Babushka says, "Come see her now." That's what he just said. I think you're muted.
Yeah, you're muted, Shalom.
You're still muted.
Yeah, you're
No,
still
he's out.
muted, man.
So he was talking.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
But I guess I would turn to my cousin as well. Let him know it's been like 6 or
Yeah.
7 hours.
Sorry, I thought I was missing some epic speech by by Skirmir there.
No. My roommate was just looking for her dog.
Oh, okay.
He was in here with me.
So yes, so the Babushka says, "Come, we need to go now." That's what he said. She said.
As much as I dislike going to see that old hag,
She seemed like a shine to you.
ah, many women do.
I mean, better you than me. She was, well, literally wanting my manly bits.
Yes, it's another thing I learned from observing animals out in nature. They show their teeth a lot.
Ah, yes, they do. Makes them easier to shoot in the dark. So, shall we?
May as well.
Okay. Gets up, gets dressed, grabs his stuff, and looks to his cousins to lead the way.
The Babushka's tent is actually on the edge of the swamp, just within the fence. She's actually got the closest hut to the water, and she is burning it looks like a corpse on a pyre. As you approach her, she goes, "We have lost some of our shamans." Turns that dementia eye back at that crow eye she was looking at Shehane earlier with.
I surreptitiously check to make sure everything's where it's supposed to be still, and say, "That is a great blow." What do you know of that dark figure that was on the horse on the animal that rode in?
That is a horse that it rode,
Ah,
a ragman's steed.
oh,
Many of the Atlanteans, the fish men, those men of the sea, use them to travel great distances. That thing is known as the Black Chieftain, who's a beautiful mortal of ages past, but now he seems to be more or less of a haunting.
Yes, my cousin pierced his side with a dagger and said there was no flesh, no blood.
Steve, for Christ's sake, quit staring at your camera.
You say he was riding a horse.
Yes.
Yes, they tame such beasts, the fishmen.
How? How do they tame them? Tell me the secrets of the fishmen.
You will need to speak to the fishmen. I know not their secret.
You may know this though, and Sheehan reaches and pulls the bit of hide out of his pouch. He hands it over to her. My previous human companion that died procuring the woolly rhino was carrying this. Said that his father, I assume, was a shaman of their village, possibly, but that someone had stolen a tablet. Looked sort of like this, I think.
She takes the bit of hide from you, and she goes over to a rock nearby that she's kind of using as a table, if you will. She picks up half of the tablet that was smashed during the battle, and she holds it out to you. These contain the secrets of the harvest. We keep the pacts that the ancients made with the Reaper King
Okay.
with these tablets.
I'm going to do a cunning check for, I guess that's just for a general knowledge check then for that. Ooh, yep,
Oh, yeah.
not a crit, but it's 14. Do I know the basics of, or at least am I aware of that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah. The fair folk do the same thing. They well, not the same thing, but they also sacrifice to the Reaper King.
I know those, among our people, those rituals can be, well, complex and grueling.
They are. When dealing with demons, you see, demons have rules, and you must follow all of the rules of the ritual, otherwise you will anger them.
Yes.
We do not anger negative and evil spirits like demons and devils. You know this.
Yes. I several times brought the game back for a sacrifice to be added to the ritual that our people use. I'm not sure if people do the same or not, but
We do much the same.
what happens if you do it wrong?
The Reaper King awakens and then runs rampant, devouring everything and destroying everything, despoiling crops, making women infertile.
So
Pregnant women have stillbirths. Horrible plagues befall the land.
Is that what the argument was about this morning? I overheard part of that. My big fellow here came into town.
There is a different pact that we have with the swamp lights, the blue fairies known as the Rim, who inhabit the deep forest and the deep swamps. And Shihei knows what a Rim is.
Yes.
It's essentially a blue fairy the size of Tinkerbell that sits in your palm. They're also particularly vicious, unseelie, so don't piss them off.
Yeah. Okay.
Your people kind of equate them to mosquitoes that can talk. That's essentially what they.
Okay.
She'll know the Rim keep the eels that we eat in the swamp. They keep these eels fertile and plentiful, and that is what keeps our village fed.
That's what that food is. Okay.
However, there are blue flowers that flower on a line of willow trees, and if you go past those trees, you cannot pass these trees. That is the fairy realm. We stay in our end of the swamp, they stay in theirs, and everything is peaceful. Someone has upset the fairies. I think she looks off into the swamp. I think one of the Reaper King's minions has upset them.
Has anyone been to speak with them yet?
No one has gone into the swamp to speak to the fairies. No. The fishermen are too afraid to. Perhaps you two, or you three, shoots a look over at Skarnir, can go into the forest and speak to the fairy king there.
Shihan looks over at Skarnir and says, "Are you mad enough to treat with the fairy king?"
Oh, yes. Crazy enough for a lot of things.
It'll be most perilous. Not the same as fighting a chieftain of a trollman or slaying a boar. It's much more complex.
Did you see me killing the big goblin,
Yes.
the troll guy? Yeah,
You won't be able to
that
do
was
that.
pretty complex.
You won't be able to do that there. That's actually pretty simple. You just put the pointy in the other guy. This is a bit more difficult and treacherous.
Yeah, but you see, he didn't actually hit me.
Right.
The only one that hit me during that exchange was you.
Right. It seemed unfair. You as large as you were, the poor short goblin fellow is, well, taller than me, but shorter than you. It's even unfair. I needed to balance it out a little bit. Besides, I knew you could handle it.
Well, thank you for the compliment.
This will be very treacherous. If we go to speak with this fairy king, be aware of all things you say. Do not make any promises. Do not accept any gifts, because those can be held to be a bond.
Well, I suppose that makes sense.
That is one of the things that their kind do with mortals, is they make bonds and pacts and deals for certain things. So if you ask them for something and they offer it, but do not ask something in return, then you don't know what they want, and they'll just be in taking it. If you refuse them, well, then you've broken the bond, and they can exact a penance, if you will. So
Penance.
if we go to
Isn't that another name for prick?
no, not that one, not the other name for prick. They extract a price, a penalty, a fine, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah, I was humoring you a bit. I'm very well aware of all of this. But you explained it very well.
I've had to several times. In my experience, humans seem to enter into these deals quite readily and quite often.
Now, the thing you need to be aware of about me, Scarnia Wolfeye, is that I don't willingly do anything.
Understood. Then I would, yes, I look at the Babuska and I say, in return for the service you have provided to me, yes, I will be your emissary to the King of the Fairies in this realm to find out what may be done to remedy your pact.
It is not exactly my pact, but a pact with the village. Nevertheless, I do thank you for the work that you would do for us.
You're very welcome. My cousin here is a well-known diplomat where I come from. I look over at Halen.
Yes, but he must be taught more than one tongue.
Yes, he really should learn more than one tongue. I agree.
Can he read?
I don't know. Can you read, cousin?
In our writing.
You can read a bit. Baywise, at least.
There's a boat. She points down at kind of a personal dock that she has. It's kind of about an 8-foot-long skiff, if you will, her shallow boat.
Okay. I look. I look up at the darkening sky.
You may take this into the forest. I do not know where this fairy court is. However, I believe that you're going to need to find some small amount of magic is going to be required for you to find this.
Well, unfortunately, that's not something I really have. I don't deal much with it like the rest of my folk. But I am a hunter. I can track quite well.
Which amongst you is gifted in the sight?
Like with our eyes.
I think
Not
she
your
means the inner
eyes.
sight.
What other things do you see with?
You see with your heart, you see with your inner knowing, I suppose.
Where does it see out from?
She kind of rolls her eyes. And she's, all right. Then I will have to come with you then.
I don't think that'll entirely be necessary, Babushka. It's wholly too dangerous.
She's half turning away from you as she's, oh god, and as you say that, she just stops and then slowly looks at you, very creepily looks over at you. Do you mean to order me around, you young buck?
Oh, no. I would never dare. I'm merely concerned about your well-being. That is all.
My well-being, child, she points this bony-ass finger at you, is the last thing you need to be worrying about. I will be looking after your 3 well-beings. And she walked off to find her hut, gather her things, still hollering at you the entire way. Have you eaten? Do you have cloaks? Are we able to keep warm?
Oh, yes.
I have a basic cloak and, well, I mean, tonight, but...
Do you have shoes, sandals, boots, rope, fishing nets?
I got shoes.
I can make sure these things are gathered, yes.
I am gathering them now. Do not move.
Okay.
Her hut is kind of like, I suppose it's more or less Merlin's tower from the Disney Sword in the Stone. It's all rickety, has holes in the ceiling.
Does she have like a little garden nearby?
Of course she does.
There
It's
by chance a
overgrown with
turnip?
things. Yes, there are turnips in it.
I'm gonna look for one that's somewhat ripe. Yes, that'll be wilderness lore, wouldn't it?
Yes, that would be.
Rate of flow. That's gonna be a 12 for that.
Oh yeah, you're able to find one.
Okay, I'm gonna pluck it so that when she comes out.
Sorry, one more time, Keith. Let's go for it.
Well, I was gonna say, and I'll wait for her to come back out.
She comes out with it's like an enormous like tarp that's got a bunch of things rolled up in it, and she stops immediately staring at the turnip in your hand, and she narrows her eyes at you.
You might need this, Babushka. I hand it to her.
And she walks by. Oh, thank you, my dear. She takes this from you. Well, come along then. She leads you to the boat.
Okay. Down to the boat we go.
And at that point, gentlemen, I think is where we will pick up our next session here. Thanks everybody turning in tonight. It's been a bit of a hiatus, but I think we're going to be back weekly now. Thanks everybody. Good night, everyone.
Good night.